then we got a 1. And a 2. Can't get that 2 out properly. A 1, 2, and a 3, and a hey now, Metal Mike coming at you. Deep in the bunker. That's right, where I live, where I thrive, where I have the best time of my life is really here. At home. I've created this bunker with all my treasures, and it's no different than when I was a young man. Just being able to display everything, fiddle, tinker around, go through stuff, basically pick my own inventory. And what are we going to touch on today? Let's touch on trading, huh? I love to trade. I've got tons and tons of vintage, and old, and antique, and relic, and junk even. I've got junk, you better believe it, sprinkled amongst all of that. And I want to trade. I'm looking for German helmets. I need that. I need anything German World War II. When I say anything, I guess, you know, there's some things that I don't need, but typically I'll take it all in and then I'll disperse some of the stuff that I don't need later to collectors that find appeal in it. Meaning, so I want it all. And I like to barter. I love to trade. And everything I own other than my German stuff is always up for trade, is always up for consideration. If you got something, if you got a German helmet, you got a German Iron Cross, you have a piece of a German uniform, a German flag, a Japanese flag, a piece of a Japanese helmet, anything. I love it in any and all condition. Old bayonets with the tip broken off, rusty, love it. No scabbard, bring it here. The handle's broken off, I want it. I will trade you and I will compensate for you. Meaning, you're going to come out better. Because number one, you can't sell German World War II stuff on eBay. It's not going to happen. Randomly, they let some things float through, but they pull randomly. That means that if your item gets pulled, you get a bad mark on your account, etc., etc., etc. It's kind of a hassle. And I'm not trying to say not to list on eBay. I definitely think if you have nothing, if your eBay account is 100%, you've never had any issues. You've never had anything pulled down, ended early, any disputes, nothing. I say go for it then. Let it fly. Sometimes these things, even with a swastika, will go through. So here I am talking you into selling something rather than trading it to me. Not. Let's get back to where we started, and that's I want it. What else has been going on? I've just been really using Facebook to my advantage. Now, a lot of you are laughing, chucking, and go, Metal Mike, you effing lost it. No, it's very helpful. Basically, anything that you collect. I've gone over this just recently, and I've gone over it a lot, but I'm going to go over it again. And that's a steel press toy, a cast iron toy, a Wagner skillet, you name it. There is a group, so what you do is you type in the search of whatever item you're looking for, and then you look for groups, and then you join those groups. And what you can do is you can put your feelers out in that group and go, okay, I've got this piece here. What's it worth? Well, a lot of collectors are going to turn their backs on you and not tell you anything. And a lot of collectors are going to have an attitude about it. And they're going to say, do the research yourself, go sell it on eBay, join a blog, blah, blah, blah. Ignore those comments, delete those comments if you want, and get to the point. And the point is this: if you fish and you get one guy that's helpful, it can save you tons of time in struggling to figure out a piece and its value or its origin, whatever it is, the info that you're after. Most guys, eventually someone's going to offer you some advice. And this is awesome because it's positive advice, but you have to be willing to put up with the assholes because there's millions of them. They're going to pepper you. They're going to, if you have something, they're going to say reproduction. They won't describe why it's a reproduction. They'll just state it and leave you hanging. Hopefully some collectors still are nice and share information. Remember, this field, if you're in it as a collector or a dealer, is very interesting because there's 50-50, such as life, heaven and hell. You've got guys that absolutely will not help you under any circumstances, are cutthroat, and are brutal. You have other guys that, shit, you know, you can't live a million years anyway. Why not spread the information to someone younger and share your advice? But the game is changing. The game is changing completely. If you're a collector, you have access to finding pieces, making trades on Facebook in groups. This is really kind of catching fire at this point. They're doing live auctions, which I'm on the fence about. I love it, it excites me, but I also hate the sexualization of it. I saw a live action last night. What do? They get two pretty girls, and then you have to listen to their stupid effing banter back and forth like they're funny or they're a comedian. There's no humor there. And then I've seen other guys that stick to the format. They sell the item and get realistic. But if you're going to sell in a group, now you got some guys who are going, oh, I want to look at a beautiful woman and stuff like that. Listen, I'm 50 years old. I'm not salivating over women anymore. I don't give a shit. Everyone is everyone. Who gives a fuck? I'm there to get some deals. I don't want to have someone flaunting her sexuality in my face. I just don't give a fuck. I hate that. I've seen that in a lot of vinyl record groups and such. The vinyl videos on Facebook in the group. So basically, you flip through the albums, and that's the video. People love it because it's kind of just like being in anywhere, and you're looking, you're seeing what they have, etc. But now they get a sexy woman to do it, and she's primming. I don't want to see that shit, man. I don't want to see it. If I want to see something like that, I know where to go find that, right? Boy, did this conversation take a fucking big swing, huh? But that's life. That's reality. And that's with, when I shoot these videos, I'm just shooting from the hip. I'm rambling, I'm ranting. I'm going to say a bunch of stupid shit. I'm going to say some things that we're going to hit right on point about. And that's the whole fucking idea. Let's show you something. Let's shut my mouth here for a second and see if we can get something. I'll show these old army men here. Eventually, I will sell these on eBay. They're really cool. One of my favorites is this guy right here. He doesn't go with him, I don't think, but I guess he could. The barrel on that is, well, I don't think so. And this is a great piece too. Just an old ambulance. It's almost like clay. I forget what the name of this, Barclay, I want to say. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Who doesn't love old crucifixes, huh? If you can find these with the skull and crossbones, they're just always special. I used to scoop them up whenever I came across them. Those days don't happen as much anymore, though, because if you go way back to my earlier videos, I've got a lot of them on there, and find some Gilbert Marty videos. Back in the day, man, early 2000s, I would go over to St. Paul, have my stepfather, Gilbert Marty, and he would, you could go in there some days and he'd have, all of a sudden on the counter, there's 10 old crucifixes. And towards the end, before he passed away, I just tried to buy anything he put out in bulk. So, like, if he threw out a box full of, like, paper goods, etc. Paper goods meaning calling cards, letterhead, old paper, advertising, etc. I just buy. How much for the whole fucking box? That's always your best bet in those type of situations. If you're at a flea market, say you're at a flea market. An example: this summer I was at the flea market. I came across a guy. He was unloading his car, and he had a vintage box. The box wasn't vintage. I'm going to try to be specific here, and I'm slowing myself down, of course, and going off target. But basically, he had a box full of vintage magic tricks. So as he's unpacking them, there's like 3 or 4 of them right there that are already on the table. I see them, I'm like, oh, this is cool, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this, because this guy's always reasonably priced, and you can hit the moon on magic tricks in the box very early. I look over and there's a whole other box of them. This is where you roll the dice. This is where you go for it. You take all those ones you already picked, and you put them in your box, and you look at the guy exactly like this. I'm going to act it out for you. Put it in the box. What do you got to get on the whole box if I just bought them all? You know, the good with the bad. I always say that, the good with the bad, because there is bad in there and there are good in there. The guy's going to always give you a fucking deal. He's going to look at, $20. Boom! You just knocked it out of the park, brother. Scoop it up for $20. I don't know what I paid for that big box of magic tricks. Boy, I got to get that on eBay. So there we go. We ranted, we raved. That's what we always do. And we'll end it. An old medical foot. This is from a doctor's. They would use these in medical school. Each bone is listed. Here we have a child's brace. Absolutely. I pulled this out of a dumpster years ago. Actually, if you look and hit it at the right light, you can see the imprint of the child's foot on the bottom of it. Wow. If that don't speak to you, I don't know what does. This chalk piece, I can't remember where I got that. I want to say I pulled that out of a dumpster. It's got one chip right there. It's just chalk. Great pinup, though. And that's it. That's it. Everyone, stay above ground. Keep hunting. Keep picking. Keep junking, because remember, how can we lose when we're so sincere? How can you not love the peanuts? Metal Mike, always picking, always junking. Hey!